as an entrepreneur, it can be so easy to tie your own identity and your own sense of self-worth into the success of your business. I know this was the case for me for a lot of years, where when we won, when we got a new client, when I sold a new project, when we launched a new site, when it felt like things were going good and business was coming in and we were growing, I felt good about myself, and I felt like I was valuable and that my efforts were paying off and that I was succeeding. But then when things were going bad, or it was a slow season, or we lost a client, or there was just any kind of struggle within the business, then I also internalized that as well. I took it personally, and I felt guilt, or I felt shame, or I felt failure because the business wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. And it became my identity. It's like I saw myself based on what I was able to do in the business. And so if I wasn't working, I didn't know what to do. I mean, my life was that wrapped up in the business that I was thinking about work, or I was stressing about work, or I was worrying about work, or I was actually working. And there wasn't a lot of room in my life for anything outside of that. And because of that, I mean, my marriage suffered, my kids suffered, my walk with God suffered, my own internal peace and sense of identity definitely suffered. And so God took us through a season where, things were really hard and things didn't go well. And it was in getting through that season and realizing that I am not my business. My identity is not my business. My identity is not my achievements. My identity is not what I am able to produce or what I am able to do. It is not in my talents. It is not in my strengths. My identity, who I am, is who Christ says that I am. It is who God says that I am. I am a daughter of a king. I am a royal priesthood. I am loved. I am saved. I am a child of God, and that is given to me through grace and through God's love. And so that there's nothing that I can do to earn that or to make that any better. And so realizing that regardless of what happens to my business, whether I have it or I don't, whether it succeeds or whether it fails, that does not define who I am, that I am a whole person outside of work and outside of business, that I am a mother, that I am a wife, that I am a follower of God, and those things will continue on regardless of what happens with my business, regardless of what happens with work, that a job and our tasks and our achievements do not define our value in who we are. And that was a very hard lesson to learn and a very hard thing to be able to separate myself from those things. And so now if a client leaves or we get bad news or something, I don't feel that punch to my gut. I don't feel that like attack on my spirit or attack on my soul. I mean, no, I don't like to hear it. But I take it just like I would any other obstacle. And it's like, okay, well, they're going to leave. So how am I going to react to that? What do I need to do? Instead of it being like, that's me that they're leaving. That's my failure. That's my weakness. And I'm not good enough, not allowing those thoughts to go through my head, but just being like, okay, well, that's something that is, if I've done everything that I can, if there are things that happen that are beyond our control, or maybe God is shifting some things around and moving things, and like my trust is in God, my trust is in Him, and He holds everything together. He holds my life together. He has a plan and a purpose, and and that includes for our business as well, whether it's that is future success or whether that's a shifting or even a bearing. And, regardless of that, is my life goes on and it continues outside of my sales revenue and my margins and whether or not business is successful.